So this is actually somewhere where retail traders sometimes fall short. A lot of guys want to go out the gate straight away.
Absolutely.
And think they can be really good in like 4, 6, 8 weeks. And it's just not going to happen. Like you can't become an accomplished trader in that time period.
No, it takes time.
But then on the other end of the spectrum, sometimes it's the same people. It can be the same people. They want to get out the gates, then they backtrack, they lose confidence. You get other guys, or it can be the same person with a split personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to trade paper money and they want to have demo accounts. And we have this saying in the Institute, demo accounts don't count.
No.
You've got to be in the game because you cannot actually quantify a trader's progress over a period of time without actually having real money and risk and backing themselves, because you can't measure emotional detachment to P&L. And in terms of emotions, I would say probably out of all mentors that I've had in the last 20 years, you've probably been the number one guy that's taught me to be emotionless when it comes to P&L.
Well,
how do you control your emotions?
Emotional control is absolutely essential to being successful at trading. The most important thing about is, as you said, it's the detachment. A few things that I have learned about trading is that, first of all, don't try and never give yourself any financial targets. Don't try and achieve a certain amount of return. The returns, because then it will make you trade badly, because you're trying to force things that aren't there. So first of all, you've got to be realistic about the risk that you're taking, and you've got to be realistic about where your soft targets are, where you're looking to take the profits. So that's one thing that you've got to be. Your trading is also a function of what's the opportunities which are available in the marketplace. To take the emotion out of it is the most important part of trading, is when you get stopped out. Before you put a trade on, you need to know what your stop loss is. And if your stop loss is triggered, you execute the position, you exit the position and get out. And this happens to every single trader. Every trader has traded and they've been successful will have been stopped out of positions. Stop losses and the discipline are absolutely key. And this is where the emotional detachment is absolutely key, because you need to have the emotional detachment from your P&L. Okay, you're realizing a loss, but you need to be able to switch that off and exit the position. A good example of that is when we were on the desk at Goldman. I think somewhere around about sort of 2000, 2001, just as the NASDAQ bubble started to burst. We had the peak. Subsequently, so it looked as though that we'd hit a peak a few months later, and obviously in a bear market, there's going to be some vicious squeezes along the way. Nothing ever goes up or down a straight line.
So that's a massive short on it.
So there was one day we were very, very short in the back book. Market was squeezing and really sort of gapping to the upside. We were getting taken short everything in the front book. And,
I remember this; it was painful.
Yeah, I think we were down a lot of money. I think at one stage we were short probably about $500 million.
Jesus, yes.
About $500 million, and we.
So I think it was $400 million.
Yeah.
At lunchtime.
Yeah, at lunchtime. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Lunch wasn't too good that day. And we thought, okay, what do we do? This is the emotional detachment. We could panic and cover the whole lot. We came in short. Our proprietary view was to be short, that the markets were going down, our stocks were going down. We were trading telecoms and technology. It's clearly higher beta in that environment. So market goes down 2%. Some of these stocks are going anywhere between 5 and 10%, and vice versa. And the short squeeze that we're seeing, market was up 1-2%.
Vicious moves. Our
shorts are up anywhere between 2 and 5%. That's the nature of the beast. That's the volatility, which, like I said, is opportunity. But clearly, there's also P&L swings associated with that. So we were short. We were bearish. Got taken short by a lot of guys buying stocks either to short cover or to have a punt and sort of think that the market's turned and everything's go back to the highs. We didn't think so. However, lunchtime we had a conversation. We're very short.
I remember this conversation. It was actually a horrible conversation to have.
Well, we could have panicked. We could have covered the whole lot because we were losing money. That wasn't our view. We could have panicked and been a rabbit in the headlights, frozen, unable to do anything. Equally as bad, because we were there as market makers, we were there to provide liquidity to institutions, and that was our job. We needed to be able to continue to trade. The only way we could do this, as you remember, is that we bought Euro stocks. And before we did it, we bought the Euro stocks because we needed to reduce the risk.
I literally remember having this conversation. where we're sitting next to each other and we literally looked at each other and said, what the hell do we do here? We have to do something.
Yep.
And we don't like what we're doing, but we have to do it. And that's about staying in motion, I guess, staying objective and
Absolutely.
staying in motion,
Completely.
doing something.
We had to be unemotional and detached from our P&L and our risk. Well, we just looked exclusively at risk. We were too short. We had to reduce that because we needed to stay in the game. We bought the Euro stocks and we both knew this is going to be the high of the day. Subsequently, it turned out
And it literally was the high of the day. I think we printed the high of the day in Euro stocks.
Somebody has to.
Yeah.
However, when the market started to turn again in the afternoon, what we did do was we increased the positions and increased the shorts. That, I would say, is textbook of how to trade. We didn't increase the shorts on the way up. We waited until we reduced the risk to get it back in motion. Obviously, we sold the Euro stocks at a loss because our view was still to be short. But when we had got confirmation in our own minds that the trade was now going to work, then we increased it.
And at the end of the day, we actually came out of the day up.
I think we were up small,
That was insane.
but then over the next 2 days, we made a very big amount of money.
So in terms of objectivity, the risk in that scenario, it's almost like a textbook case study of emotional detachment, right?
Very much so.
Because the objectivity and the risk management practices that we were implementing right at those moments, it was actually all about doing the right thing at the right time. And that's actually a skill set that you can't learn unless you're in it and doing it for real with real money, right?
Absolutely.